Hey team, I'm really excited today to be doing episode number 5 of the NCC Capsule Conversations. Our guest is very, very skilled in compounding. She's also our esteemed operations manager. And today I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to chat with Kelly. Kelly has got an awesome background. She came from Brisbane to be with us in NCC, and we're fortunate to have had her in our business over the last 5 years. She's had a really, really important role in setting up our new Sterile facility over the last couple of years, and she's now in charge of keeping our office team and our pharmacist team on track and thriving. So look, I'm super excited. Like always, please tune in, please leave any feedback. And if you would love to sit down and just chat about yourself, the role that you play, and also the general compounding industry, I'd love to do that. So give me a shout. And again, excited to welcome Kelly into our capsule conversation. We look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks. Cool. How are you feeling?
It's exciting.
Is it?
Yeah.
Never thought you'd be on a podcast?
No.
Neither did I.
Never. It's all very new. It's exciting.
Great. I'm thrilled to have you. So welcome, Kelly. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
It's awesome. It's great to have you. This is episode 5 of our Capsule Conversations, where we get to know you better and we get to learn more about you and all that makes Kelly tick. You ready to jump into it?
Yeah, sure.
Great. So just start by telling me a bit about yourself, your role here.
So my name's Kelly and I am the operation manager at NCC. So what that means is I oversee NCC team, including the pharmacist team and the office team. And I've also done some special training for sterile compounding. So I'm in charge of the sterile lab as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds like a very large load. How did you get to this?
It all happened by coincidence. So I did my internship in Brisbane as a pharmacist, and I just stumbled across this compounding pharmacy nearby my house, and I never even thought about getting into compounding industry. And I was sort of rushing to find an internship position in the last minute, and they happened to have one position available. So it felt like I entered a whole new world, because as a pharmacist, we don't really get to learn in depth about compounding. So I had a very basic minimal knowledge. And then when I saw all the behind the scenes and the lab, I was just fascinated. And I fell in love with compounding ever since then. Yeah.
Very cool. And then somewhere along the line, you stumbled onto a job down here in the little old Gold Coast.
Yeah.
You had to make the big decision to move. It was a big move.
It was honestly, it's one of the best decisions I've made in my life, because I wanted to change. I wanted to, I like adventures and I like to push myself and trying to get out of my comfort zone. And I lived in Brisbane ever since I moved to Australia, my entire Australian life. So I never moved out of Brisbane region. So I saw the job opportunity here and I said, Gold Coast, I don't know what Gold Coast is like, even though it's quite close. I've never really explored. And then honestly, I love the life here. Everyone's so friendly and nice, and it's just, honestly, I found my new favorite place. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And then, you've obviously had a great journey within your career. How do you go from being intern pharmacist to stepping up to a pharmacist? And you had a couple of different pharmacist roles in Brisbane in 2 different places. And then you've come to a sterile role here, and then you've continued to grow through that.
Yeah. So I think, like everyone, when you just start a new job or anything, you feel like basically noob. You don't know anything. That's how I felt when I started. Like when I actually quite lucky that I started at the reception in Brisbane. So I was given the reception role, and I never worked at reception before. And in pharmacy environment, normally we don't have a reception. It's just over the counter. You sell S2, S3 medications, and then still need to counsel. But this was like medical center office kind of jobs. I had to book an appointment and schedule appointments and talk to, doctors and all that stuff. So I was like, wow, I don't know if I'm doing pharmacy work. And then I learned how to do emails, which I had never done before.
Yeah.
Picking up phone calls and, taking orders. And then I got promoted to the lab. And then I think the reception was the rough beginning because everything was just completely new. And then when I moved to the lab, it was another world again. So from learning how to compound basic capsules to more challenging troches, and it was just like hands-on work, which I also never thought I would do as a pharmacist. Yeah. So that what really got me into compounding more, because I could see the product being made from beginning to the end. And actually seeing patients take what I've made feels very special. So that's how I got to know more about the technical side of compounding, so what actually happens in the lab.
Awesome.
And then finally got to become the pharmacist. I got registered as a pharmacist, which involves completely different roles again, from dispensing to checking and answering clinical questions. And so I was thrown into different departments, but I think it all connected as a line. Like there was all dots and they're all connected and came to a whole, and which led me to being, again, wanting to learn more about complex compounding, like sterile compounding, which I volunteered to go and do the training. And that's what brought me here, because you needed someone to, help with the sterile lab, and I knew a little bit. So so I think it's so interesting that what I thought from the beginning, that I only know this much and this much, it's all connected. Yeah. And then here I am. What
a depth of experience. How cool. Yeah. How cool all of that journey put together. Yeah. What could you tell a budding young pharmacy student or intern pharmacist who has that concept that pharmacy is just this like straight line, you qualify and you become a pharmacist, given that what you just shared is nothing like that?
Yeah, I think people need to, if I can share my experiences, what you're given as a task, just do your best. Try to learn as much as you can, because what might seem mundane and just, not as exciting, that can become something really important later when you're more experienced. So, working in the lab is, making capsules every day. And I would think, how is this going to be important as a pharmacist? I need to go out there and talk to patients and, try to counsel. That should be my job. But then when I look back, all the times that I spent to make capsules, now I know how to explain it to the customers, what involves in, making a capsule, and what's better and what's easier to take and what's easier to make. And it all comes together in the end. So you shouldn't always just focus on what you are given at the moment, and think a little bit bigger and longer term as well. It will all become important when you become experienced.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So just almost buckle in, sit down, buckle in, and it'll take you anywhere it can. Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah. That's really cool. So talking about your sort of day-to-day now, operations manager sounds terrifying.
The title sounds,
Tell me about the sort of the day-to-day, the week-to-week.
So it's actually quite straightforward. It sounds like a lot, but all I'm doing is basically making sure that we're monitoring our workload. So the first thing I do when I come to work is now checking how much we have to work throughout the day, and relaying that information to the leadership team, because we have different leaders working as a team as well. So making sure everyone's on the same page, and also relaying that information to individual team members. So the first important thing is making sure we're all on the same page as a whole group. And then knowing what needs to be taken more urgently, or something that we can all help together to quickly sort it out. So we have a bit of a plan for the day. And after that, just jump straight into being a pharmacist, just checking a lot of things. So we check formulations, we check dispensing labels, we check final products, and counseling patients, and we get given a lot of clinical questions, and as a manager I get given some customer service questions as well, and just sort of guiding everyone in the right direction. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
All in a standard shift.
Yeah, in one day.
In one day. So then,
not much.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't sound as simple as you sort of started, but,
Okay.
but I mean, you do an amazing job of making it sound simple. And then obviously throughout the week, what other types of management or pharmacist type activities are you into?
Recently we started doing the leadership training, which that was something that I didn't feel very comfortable at first when you first offered the training, because I thought, I feel like it's going to be even more workload on top of what I'm already doing. So I was a bit hesitant. But then once you made it to more of everyone's going to benefit from this session, and everyone's sort of keen to go, and I sort of went with the whole team agreement, and we had the first session. Actually made me think, I should have said yes ages ago, because honestly I think it's only been one session, but I felt already like supported by not just the coach but also the whole team, just hearing each other's and what we normally think it's struggles or challenges that we face every day. I tend to work it on myself.
Take it all on board yourself.
And always think I find a solution by myself, and think it's a burden to sort of speak up or share that struggle, and I only do it when I'm about to drown and I come to you
when it's too late,
when it's a bit too late. So I think this training will really help with that side of things, and how to utilize my time more wisely and more efficiently, and how to prioritize work. And so I'm very grateful that we have a lot of training opportunities like this. So not only leadership, but we do compounding trainings, and we've recently had the conference that we all attended, which was amazing.
Cool.
So clinically really got motivated to learn more again.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I'd love to dive a bit into, how you were saying you've been through that experience of what pharmacy could be to what compounding pharmacy is. And then as a pharmacist, obviously, what university teaches you, but then you get thrown into this situation, like you said, where there's seminars and other forms of training for compounded medicines. But how do you go, as a pharmacist now, juggling the difficulty or challenge of some medicines that we compound not being used for a standard case like you might in a standard pharmacy?
Yeah, that's definitely something we don't get taught at university. So I think there is some improvements that we also need in the education system, is that we all know that not one size fits all. That's something that we all know in our heads. Human bodies are all different. We have different allergies. We have different metabolism. Everyone's different. So to try and fit all the conventional treatment into one thing is not going to work. And we have to be more open-minded, and we have to try and see what other countries are doing, what other research groups are doing. Obviously, it has to start from evidence-based. That's the most important thing, that we're not just guessing what we're doing. We actually need to find resources, and through research skills kind of break it down to, okay, this is a valid research article. I can base my treatment on this, and collaborating with doctors and sharing ideas and also their experience too, because I'm sure they would have had a long clinical practice years and they would have seen a lot of different patients. So it's very valuable to also listen to them and listen to their stories, and following our regulations and always meeting all the standards, but think outside of the box as well. I don't know if it's a common thing in pharmacy, but we're very by the book, and we have to follow this. It's very black and white, and we're a little bit afraid to do anything that's even the slightest different to what the regulation is or what we've been taught. But the moment the patients step into our door, they probably tried everything already. So this is their last resort, and they're desperate. And I feel very lucky that we can still give them options. When you feel like you're at the dead end, it's not the dead end. We can tell them, no, look, there's this article that did this treatment and it helps, so do you want to try? And you can talk to the doctor about it. So I think compounding is very important in that aspect, that we can provide more options within safe, safe evidence and efficacy as well. So, yeah, I think we still follow a lot of the quality use of medicine, but also very creative and more innovative. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And how do you think the general public and prescribers in the last few years since you've been involved in compounding, how do you think their take on it has gone? Are you seeing a better uptake in terms of general practitioners and specialists? Are you seeing patients more wanting?
Oh, yeah. I think there's still always a bit of a sensitive sides in compounding, where when the doctors a little bit afraid to try something different. I think similar concept to how pharmacy we follow set guidelines and what we've been taught versus should I try this? Should I give this option to the patient? Same with doctors. I think they are a little bit afraid to do that, and that's why there is a bit of a stereotype or misconception about holistic approach or integrative approach. Without thinking that, it's all evidence-based too. We're also looking at articles, we're looking at research. It's not just from our head. So I think there will always be a tension between the two sort of opinions. But I think we're now seeing that holistic approach and treating the patient as a whole is becoming ever more important. So I can definitely see the positive direction towards that, and I think we are sort of living in the world that we don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we don't know what next is going to happen, and all the foods that we are consuming and all the things that we are applying to our skin and everything, we now know a lot more about it, and we also know the dangers and also the side effects of it and things like that. So people are getting smarter, and people are trying to be one step ahead before something happens. So I think that's where compounding can be very useful, because we don't have a limit to what we can make and give. So I think that is why people are getting more and more interested in compounding now. Yeah.
That's awesome. And do you think obviously it's getting more challenging out there, the cost of living and all those sort of things, the challenge of talking to patients about the benefit that a compounded product can have for them versus the cost that's associated with that? Because obviously there's a lot more that goes into it. It's not a standard prescription product. It's not mass produced. How do you find that conversation?
I try to explain to patients who are, I guess, a bit hesitant because the price is a lot. And obviously cost of living, we all know it's affecting a lot, like even the most basic, food-wise as well. It puts a lot of pressure. But health we cannot sacrifice health. And when it comes to health and getting a good quality of products, there is no compensation for that. It's not just simple manufacturer making a bulk products of thousands of tablets and then giving it to millions of people. It's not that. We're literally taking one order, taking it, dispensing, risk assessing that this is appropriate for them, making it in the lab, and then again final checking that everything is up to the standard. That involves at least 5 people's time, and also we're not just rushing every work, we're actually looking into every single product to our best effort, and we try to reach out and give them help as well. So it's not just that moment of giving the compounding medication. We are always happy to take the call whenever they need. So it can be months after they purchase the medication, they can call us back and they can ask about anything about their health, and we can do our best to give any resources and what we know. So it's really not just here you go, here's your medication. It's a whole journey together. So I think that is really something you can't really estimate with price.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think compounding, people think it's quite expensive and more like a luxury, and something that you can only do when you are more comfortable. But if you think about it, we generally make more than 1 month worth at a time. So when you break it down, it's actually, you're getting a pretty good price for 3 months worth of medications. So when I explain to customers, it's like, oh, that's quite a lot. But when I say, oh, actually it's like 3 months worth of medication you're getting now.
Yeah.
And then after you have a review with your doctor and come back, we can also discuss again. They're like, oh, actually it's not that bad. Yeah. And then.
So it really is a journey of taking them through the understanding.
That's right.
And like you said, it's not just a transaction, it's more of a longer term relationship.
That's right. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Are there any experiences with patients that come to mind as standouts that you've, share with us a time you've made sort of that you remember as a real impact on someone for the better?
Well, every day I get to see a lot of scripts and different stories and different patients, but I think the one patient that stood out the most is actually a child. It was a girl who had really severe molluscum. Yeah, all over the body. And I think she was only like 7 years old. She was very young. And being a girl and very, very young, she started feeling very insecure about her body because of the molluscum, because it was so visible. Yeah. And the mom was very distressed because she was very scared that her daughter might develop, any kind of insecurities or, social anxiety or things like that, because she wouldn't wear a dress or she wouldn't wear anything that will show her legs, and she got made fun of at school. Everyone was teasing her. So I honestly, it was more than just treating the one thing. It was more of a, how can I make this girl feel better about herself and make sure this doesn't turn into more complicated things. And unfortunately, the mom tried every treatment options out there, and usually molluscum will go away over time. You don't need to treat it at the time, but because there were so many consequences from that, we wanted to treat it. So I did a bit of research with the mom. We both, talked back and forth a lot, and we tried to do more of an oral approach, so oral solution. So we compounded cimetidine oral suspension, and it was also really fun to compound that because I read a lot of articles saying that it's very bitter.
Great, 7-year-old girl.
Yeah, who's already so done with the whole
healthcare.
Healthcare, and she had to be forced to take something bitter and yucky.
Right.
So I was like, oh, then how do I make it taste better? So it was just like cooking in the lab.
Yeah.
So I was testing with the lab techs, and maybe we should put this, and then we added an ingredient called bitter stop to make it more, pleasant. And we found just the right proportion of things. And then in the end, it wasn't as bitter. And I was very nervous to, give it to the girl. And after a few weeks later, the mom came back, and she was so grateful. She was so happy, and the girl was there, and she said, the molluscum started popping, and then they're all starting to, fade away. And the girl is taking the medication well, and it was, very positive outcome. So she shared a lot of gratitude. She came back because she wanted to thank the whole team, and not just because she had to reorder anything. She just came to say and show the appreciation. I think that's when I felt, oh wow, like I really started from beginning to the end with this patient, and it was just great to feel that she is no longer stressed about the whole situation, and she can feel more confident.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think this is one thing about being a compounding pharmacist, treating the person as a whole, and not just, this medication equals this. It's, considering what, the taste of things and the stability of things. And so that was really fun and memorable. Yeah.
And that's a really, really great story. Congratulations on the outcome. It brings back the time we had a cosmetic group and we had their creams. They were very challenging too, to try and get appropriate and nice feeling and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
The cooking up in the kitchen to try and get the formula to work.
Just like cooking, trial and error, and So I think it's gotta be, persistent and just know that there will be an answer at the end. So
very cool. Very cool. I like how you were saying before that the mum came back to thank the whole team as well as yourself. Tell me a bit about the team dynamics here and how the different teams work together, like you said, at your level and at team members level.
So we are a very teamwork environment. So although we are assigned to do the job and it's up to us to, manage that workload and provide the best work, we are you can see our pharmacy layout, it's open. So it's free for all the discussions and everyone can lift their hand up to ask help, and we are a very strong team. So I think our team dynamics is we care for each other, just like we care for the patients. We're very caring, and I love how we don't, when an issue happens, because every business, every workplace will face issues and challenges. Our mindset doesn't go to pointing fingers at each other or blaming someone for their mistakes. We always try to come to how can we improve from this? How can we learn from this? How can we do better? And bring it up in our weekly meetings and through our daily huddles as well. We talk about things that we can all do better as a whole group. So I think I love that about our workplaces. I don't ever feel alone. Like, it's not a one-person job, and everyone's doing it together and very supportive of each other. Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So what would you share with someone, again, we could talk about pharmacy students or pharmacists in training, about someone coming into the compounding niche that we sit in, again, unfamiliar, they don't know where to look for resources, they're not sure what patients might be like. What would you tell them to give them?
I think for those people who think the compounding is the easy. That's a very common misconception.
Yeah.
Don't take it too lightly. Don't underestimate compounding is the first thing I want to say.
You come out with the hard-hitting reality.
Yeah, because sometimes I do get asked about what's compounding like especially other colleagues, like other pharmacist colleagues, and they think, oh, isn't it a bit boring? Like, what do you guys do all day? And I'm like, come over and have a look.
Well, now that we've got it on a podcast, you could just show them on repeat your average day.
Why don't you come and have a look?
Absolutely.
It's full of challenges, and it's honestly not one day is the same. Every day is different. Every day there's something new and challenging. So just be prepared for that kind of situations, that it's not going to be the same every day. And also have the mindset of willing to learn.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's very cool.
Because I think every health professions feel the same, but we are going to have to study until we die.
Yes, with all these CPD points coming on board.
That's right.
What is it, 60 this year? It'll be 300 next year.
Yeah, so never stop learning. And even if you think you're right, just think again.
That's right. If you knew it all,
you'd be humble.
That's awesome.
I think if you have that mindset, I think you will adapt very quickly and easily. I think everyone will have that period of needing to adjust and learn how we process things or the systems. That's anywhere you go. But it's the mindset that really determines who will excel and who will sort of stay in the same position for a long time.
Yeah, very cool. So open-mindedness, willingness to grow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I'd love to learn a bit more about Kelly. What's a unique thing about Kelly that we might not know?
I thought about this.
Well, you did share one recently that was awesome, but what have you thought about?
So I was like, how much should I talk about myself? And I actually, you might already know this, but I don't think a lot of people know, I actually wanted to become an actress.
Ah,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. It's a quite surprising fact because I'm very quiet and I'm very introverted. So nobody would think that I want to do stage acting or anything like that. But I always wanted to be an actress since I was in primary school.
Wow.
So I loved performance arts. I used to dance. I did ballet. And I recently told you I did learn how to play cello.
Yep.
So I was really into arts. And I think maybe that's why I like compounding, because it's sort of creative work and it's a lot of thinking outside the box. And so my goal throughout the university was to graduate on time so I can leave the pharmacy industry.
Wow.
Never come back.
Wow.
So I took a gap year after I graduated and I went to Korea for 10 months. And I thought I was going to do really well.
So you jumped right in the deep end?
So because I've never properly learned how to act. So that first step was to find an acting academy and learn the basics. So I saved up throughout my whole university time.
Wow.
I worked part-time.
Wow.
When you have a goal, it's actually really easy to do all the things you don't like.
Yep.
So I worked in a community pharmacy as a student, and I worked really hard because I had a goal. I wanted to go to Korea and become an actress. So I saved up all this money, and then I promised my parents, like, if I graduate, don't look for me. Once I graduate, I'm gone. So I went to Korea and met so many amazing people, and from all sorts of backgrounds and different careers, different experience, and honestly, it was like awakening. Yeah, and I honestly cannot regret going back to Korea for that journey, and it's something that I'm very proud of myself for doing it, because now I know that acting is not my career.
Right.
And it's once you felt that the strong feeling of, okay, this is not my path, it's so easy to let go. So if I never went and never tried, I would always think that, what if I went to Korea? What if I went this country and tried it out? I think I would have lived a different life. I didn't want to think that way. I just wanted to try and see what happens. Because now that I've done it, I can really tell myself, I've made the right decision of coming back and going back to pharmacy.
And then you found yourself in a compounding pharmacy area, and
exactly. I would have never thought myself to compounding. It was only because I came back sort of last minute, and then I really couldn't look for an internship position because everyone was already taken.
Got it.
So all the workplaces already had interns, and so I had to look somewhere really, desperately. And that's when I came into compounding world, and I think everything was just meant to be.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Yeah. How do you maintain a work-life balance? For those playing at home, you're newly married.
Not the best person to ask.
Okay. What do you do then to escape the work mindset when you're at home?
Yeah. To be honest, when I'm at work, I give my 100%, and I feel good when I do that. That's why I choose to do it. But I'm slowly learning more to be selfish once I come home, to treat myself and have some alone time and just do things that I like, because I think healthcare professionals, it's all about giving and all about helping, and we forget about ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
As a manager as well, I think when someone asks for help, I'm always like, I need to go and help. It's always that mindset.
Yeah.
But when I'm at home or when I'm with my family or my friends, it's about me. So I'm starting to listen to how I feel, listen to all the emotions, or just basically take care of myself. So it doesn't have to be something big. I could just go and get something, so delicious meal or something to treat myself as a reward, or I could, I guess a bigger scale would be traveling somewhere and exploring different world and countries and just learning more about this world. Yeah, I think that's how it's a bit extreme, work and then life, but that's how I try to balance. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If it feels good, just keep going with it.
Yep. That's right.
That's really great.
Yeah.
That's really great. It's been awesome to speak with you, and I'd love to chat for hours.
Yeah.
But we're sort of on it.
Yes,
we've got other things to do.
That's
but
right. I forgot.
Yeah, that's right.
Work.
So the headphones and the concept of a capsule inside headphones is working. What would you love to leave viewers and listeners with today? Just, what takeaways have you got on the sort of team that we are, the role that you're in, the industry that we do?
I want to say that there's so much more that compounding can offer. So if you've never had anything compounded before, just have your mind open-minded and just see what we can offer as well. And if you do have to get something compounded, we are all here to support individual patient. Just remember that we are tailored, individual support team. So if you ever need to reach out, or if you ever need to, explore other options, think about compounding. Because that's what we do.
That's really cool. That's really cool. And hopefully onwards and upwards in all the sterile work that you've been, deeply engrossed in the last few years.
No pain, no gain.
Yeah, that's right. Lots of lessons learned. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. But I wanted to thank you on behalf of myself and the team. You're an awesome part of what we do, and we're very fortunate to have you do all the things that you do in an average day and week. So it's been fantastic to chat, and look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Yeah, thank you.
It's great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Awesome.